Hello, 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 dreamers, and welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. Uh, so just a quick little FYIs. We have a full house. We always do. So if you hear noise in the background, there are teenagers and dogs in the house. So just kind of like be aware of it. Um, and no, my office is still not ready. It's probably not going to be ready for like a couple of months, to be honest with you. Cancer, time to let go. Get out of your head, stop overthinking things, time to move on and get into your heart. There is a sense here of some of you are having a really hard time letting an ending come to an end. There is a sense here of like really holding. All right, my back attack. Okay. Really holding on too tight. The letter W is coming up. W. Maybe some of you were. This was a person you were supposed to wed or get married to. Maybe this is a person you were married to. And it's like some of you are maybe contemplating on the wedding that you guys had years ago, or the wedding that you guys were supposed to have. But regardless of anything, there is a sense here of really needing to move on, needing to accept things for what they truly are, needing to stop worrying about how things are going to. All right. For those of you that came out of a relationship because somebody cheated on you or somebody left you for somebody else, you need to stop worrying about how they're gonna feel when they find out that you moved on, because that's kind of like the energy that I'm starting to pick up on, like where someone didn't give two crap about hurting you about anything of that matter, but you're here like literally worrying about how they're gonna feel if they find out that you moved on. And it's like, make it make sense, because it's not making sense at this time, at this moment, right? um you're needing to get out of your head. You're needing to stop overthinking. You need to stop romanticizing this individual or whatever this person did to you. um you need to just like, my back is really like starting to hurt, because like I'm feeling this constricting energy, like from halfway back my back, like all the way up here to like the beginning of my neck, and it feels like I feel like I just want to be cracked open, because it feels so tight and it feels so uncomfortable. It's kind of like, oh, just let it go. um and some of you are just really not wanting to let it go. You're sitting on the what ifs, what should have been. You're over analyzing every single conversation that you had with this individual. You're over analyzing every decision you ever made, every choice that you made. It's kind of like, and again, this is not to minimize or to try to say that whatever you had with this person wasn't real, that whatever you felt wasn't real, but it comes to a point that you have to learn to accept things. You have to find a way to accept things and truly allow yourself to accept things for what they truly are, to accept a person for who they truly are. And even if your perception or your view or whatever on what the situation was, it was different, is different from what they thought it was, it is okay, right? We're not dismissing your emotions or your feelings or the way that you thought whatever you guys had, right? It's not about dismissing that. It's about accepting who that person truly is, how that person truly showed up. Because, as with everything, people throughout time, right, throughout the years, people change, right? So this person may have been it for you when you guys first started dating. They may have been romantic, they may have been all into you or whatever it is, and something at some point in the relationship, in the course of it, just didn't click anymore. And that's fine. It happens, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and overanalyze on everything and get into an energy where you're becoming obsessive with trying to figure out what you did wrong. Because in all honesty, it doesn't necessarily mean that you did something wrong. It's just maybe the time frame between both of you expired. And for a lot of you, I feel like this is a connection. This is somebody that spirit had told you or had warned you about, to kind of like remove yourself from this person, or to start separating yourself from this individual, and you didn't listen. So it's almost kind of like when we ask for change, when we ask for to walk in alignment with the thing, to walk in alignment with our path, right? When we ask for these things, a lot of the times we don't realize that that means that there are things that are going to be removed. And depending on your sense of humor and spirit sense of humor at that time, sometimes that comes down in a very destructive way. It's kind of like, this is it, so that there is no ifs or buts about it. There is no questioning it. And that's kind of like what I'm feeling happen in this relationship. Now, for those of you that this is not a romantic relationship, this could have been a friendship, this could have been a job that ended in a really bad way, where maybe you were accused of doing something that you didn't do, or maybe you were overlooked, or whatever it was. And it was like, you may have been asking spirit, like, I want this dream job, I want this, I want that, I want this promotion. And it's like, okay, spirit's like, okay, I'm going to give you this job with more, like paying more, I'm going to give you this job with this position. But unfortunately, it is not in this company. Unfortunately, it's not with these individuals. And because you asked for it and spirit is getting ready to deliver, something had to go down to disconnect you or remove you from a certain connection. And that's kind of like where you have to learn to trust that the spirit knows what it's doing, right? More than we know ourselves, right? Because a lot of the times we want something, but we also want to dictate exactly how it happens. And a lot of the times, and then this is one of these things where it, like, this kind of like this gray area where people are saying, well, if you want something, ask specifically for what it is that you want. And yes, but when you're asking for something specifically, right, and you're saying, I want this, and this is how I wanted to come in, and this and this and that, the spirit will give you exactly what you want, exactly in the order that you want it, when you are obedient. But when you refuse to be obedient, when spirit tells you, okay, you want this, let go of this so that we can go in this direction, and you're just like, oh, but can I just hold on to it until this comes in? And it's like, no. And then you hold on and you hold on and you hold on. Then spirit has to intervene and break you apart from that thing so that they can bring you into what it is that you want. I remember there was one time where I was like, I really want a new car. And spirit had told me what to do, and I was like procrastinating, and I was like, oh no, I can't do that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about it. And then I went out to drive. I took my mom for an errand, and then on my way back, boom, I got into a car accident. My car got totaled. We were both fine. I mean, I ended up with like a minor like neck bruise or whatever. And I was like, I was in pain for a couple of months, but it was nothing severe, is what I should say. But what I'm trying to say was, like, if I would have done what spirit asked me the moment that I said I wanted a new car, I would have avoided the car accident, because at that point I wouldn't even have had the car, right? So it's kind of like one of those things. Like, now when I ask spirits for things, I'm very precise. Like, I want this, but I don't want my entire world falling down. So how can we get to this? Like, what are the steps that I need to take to get to this into like an easy, smooth transition? And believe it or not, if it's in a space where no major lessons need to be learned or something like that, spirit will give me the step by step. Okay, this is how we're gonna do it. This is what you're letting go of. This is what you're removing. This is what you're whatever. And I do it, and it's like exactly how I asked for it. Exactly what I asked for comes into play, and I just kind of like look at it. It's like, oh, but it's the same as like if I refuse or I resist to what it is and I'm being told to release, then spirit just kind of like, okay, this is what you want, all right, let's just remove this. And then it literally does those tower moments when they come down, and I just look at them and I'm like, I could have avoided that, but I didn't. And every with every tower that goes down, I think I'm learning to be more and more obedient when it comes to stuff like that. So there is a sense here of that is coming up, the sense of communication. There is a sense of like, again, seeing something for what it really was, seeing that there was no growth, seeing that there was the stagnant energy, whether this was romantic, whether this was at work or whatever. This was a space, right? A space where there was no more growth that was coming. There was no more, there was no more climbing. There was no more ladders. It's like you're at the rooftop. There's nothing more to gain from this. This was something that was going to keep you stuck. And therefore, it had to end, even if it was abruptly. But just because it ended abruptly doesn't mean that we now, and I mean we as in Cancer, we decide to just stay stuck instead of like moving forward. And again, moving forward doesn't mean like, oh, it happened and that's it. It's like, I'm not telling you to dismiss the situation. I'm telling you to really start working through it, right? Whether you have to go to therapy, whether you need to speak to somebody, whatever it is, but needing to start taking those steps to move forward and away from this overthinking and overanalyzing everything. All right. What is the advice for Cancer, Spirit? What is the advice for Cancer? Give me one card, Spirit. All right. We have the Flower. Be honest with yourself. And you guys ended up getting 2 cards. The number 17, be honest with yourself. And the number 2, Evil Queen. You deserve sugar, not salt. So let's go ahead and let's see. With the Flower card, number 17, we have, where are you, my love? All right. We do ourselves a major disservice when we aren't truthful with ourselves. There's something you know to be true, yet you continue to ignore it. Lying to yourself may feel like the easiest thing to do, but things have changed. It is time for you to face reality, even if it makes you uncomfortable. No matter the outcome, it won't be nearly as bad as you think. And then we have the number 2, which is the Evil Queen. Oh, excuse me, guys. Someone in your life is mistreating you. You keep trying to see the good in them, but they just keep disappointing you again and again. Truth is, some people don't deserve second chances. As difficult as it may be, this is your sign that you need to cut them loose, unfollow them, and block their number. It is time to move on. Do whatever it takes to find some inner peace, for it is just as precious as gold. I don't know, guys. That's kind of like what I've been saying the entire time, just in a nicer way, in a nicer phrase. That is all that I have, guys. As always, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.